我靠！别倒了，这个应该是1天了吧
？On March 28th, 2025, a powerful 7.7 magnitude earthquake struck central Myanmar, sending powerful tremors across the region. The epicenter was located near Mandalay at a depth of around 10 kilometers, making a shallow and highly destructive quake.
Whoa!
The seismic event was so intense that it was felt hundreds of kilometers away, causing panic and disruptions in several neighboring countries, including Thailand, India, and China. In Mandalay, one of Myanmar's busiest and most historic cities, the violent shaking caused immediate chaos. Buildings swayed dangerously before collapsing, and many structures suffered severe structural damage. Videos from the scene captured terrified residents running into the streets as aftershocks rattled the city. The power supply was cut off in many areas, and thick clouds of dust rose into the air as debris from century-old pagodas, commercial buildings, and homes crumbled. Roads cracked open, with some areas experiencing sinkholes and landslides, blocking critical highways and disrupting transportation. The Ava Bridge, a vital connection across the Irrawaddy River, partially collapsed, making it difficult for emergency services to reach certain parts of the city. The Yangon-Mandalay railway line was also affected, with sections of the track bending and shifting due to the force of the tremor. Security cameras inside shopping malls and offices recorded ceilings cracking, glass windows shattering, and furniture toppling. In a major shopping center, footage shows people screaming and rushing for the exits as shelves full of goods crash the floor.
Yup. ไม่มีอะไรเหลือชิ้นดี
The historic Mandalay Palace, a well-known cultural landmark, suffered significant damage, with parts of its structure visibly tilting due to the quake.
我去，我世界末日啊！这简直是。
In the rural regions of Myanmar, the destruction was just as severe. Traditional wooden and bamboo houses, common in many villages, were no match for the earthquake's power. Entire neighborhoods were flattened and thick dust clouds filled the air. In mountainous areas, landslides were triggered, blocking roads and isolating entire villages, making rescue efforts even more challenging. The impact of the earthquake extended far beyond Myanmar's borders, as strong tremors were reported in Thailand, India, China, and even parts of Laos. In Bangkok, the shaking was so intense that office workers evacuated high-rise buildings in panic. Security footage from a 30-story skyscraper under construction in Bangkok captured the moment it collapsed, causing widespread fear and prompting emergency response teams to rush to the scene. In China's Yunnan province, people reported furniture moving and chandeliers swaying as the tremors reached their cities. While no major destruction was reported there, authorities closely monitored the situation due to the risk of aftershocks. In India's Kolkata, residents felt prolonged shaking, leading to the temporary shutdown of metro services as a precautionary measure. Following the initial 7.7 magnitude earthquake, the region was hit by multiple aftershocks, the strongest of which measured 6.4 on the Richter scale. These aftershocks further weakened already damaged structures, causing additional collapses and hampering search and rescue efforts. Authorities in Myanmar deployed emergency teams to assess the damage and assist in relief efforts. The military, police, and firefighters were seen digging through rubble, searching for anyone who might be trapped. Temporary shelters were set up in open spaces, as thousands of people refused to return indoors, fearing another powerful quake. In Yangon, the country's largest city, people camped out in parks and public squares overnight, too afraid to sleep inside their homes. In rural and mountainous regions, rescue efforts were complicated by landslides, which made roads impassable. Helicopters and drones were deployed to survey the hardest-hit areas, and some humanitarian organizations airdropped emergency supplies to villages that had been cut off. Myanmar sits on the Sagaing Fault, one of the most active seismic zones in Southeast Asia. Experts say this earthquake was the strongest to hit the country in recent years, and geologists are now studying whether it could trigger more seismic activity in the region. Scientists have warned that further aftershocks are likely in the coming days and weeks, urging people to remain cautious.
我靠，还震啊！
As Myanmar begins a difficult process of assessing the full extent of the damage and rebuilding, the resilience of its people remains strong. Communities have come together, offering shelter, food, and support to those affected. It will take months, if not years, to fully recover from this devastating earthquake. The focus now is on restoring essential services, rebuilding homes and infrastructure, and ensuring that people have access to safe water, food, and medical care.